Okay, so today we're making a birthday cake for my oldest daughter's 10th birthday. I'm going to be making this cake twice because I only have one cake pan. So, the ingredient calls for 4 egg yolks and 1 egg white.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, baby. You helping me make Ember's cake? Yeah.
Hi, Mommy.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 whole egg into 1 container. I like to break the yolk. Ooh, careful, careful. Oh, you're climbing all over me. Mommy can't do this with you climbing on me. Ah! Okay, you want to sit on my lap? Okay. So the next thing we're... Hold on. Ah! So now we're going to put the egg white into this container. Just a separate container. We're going to put the yolk in there. And we're going to do this again. Egg white. Egg yolk. Now, if I had more than 1 cake pan, I would double this up and I would do a total of 8 eggs with 2 whites and 8 yolks in this bowl. But because I have to cook one first, that's not going to happen. I'm going to do this separate. I'm going to put the first cake in the oven and then make the second recipe. Leave the whites alone. We're going to put the whites off to the side. Now we're going to mix these together with some sugar. So the amount of sugar that we're going to add in is 1.5 cups. Careful. So we're going to add in just a little bit, and we're going to start mixing. Put it in there. And as we mix, we're going to add more. You want to do it slowly so it mixes in evenly. Hold on. Mommy needs a 1/2 cup. And now I don't think a whisk was the best. I think we're done with the whisk. And this is what it looks like when it is done. Nice, thick, yellow concoction. Okay, we are all done with the sugar for now, sweetie. Now in this larger bowl, we're going to mix in 2 teaspoons. Oops, wrong drum. We're all done with the eggies for now, too. We'll get back to this. We gotta do this one more time. Okay? We're gonna mix in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Ooh. 1. 2. Get off the table. And we're going to reuse our teaspoon in a little bit. And now with that baking powder, we're going to add in 2½ cups of flour. And now this recipe works best if you sift. However, I don't have a sifter. So here's 1. 2 cups of flour. We're also going to put the flour up so she doesn't play with it. Ooh, not there though. Okay. Now, we're going to give this a quick little mix. Get our baby's hands out of it because we're going to add our egg yolk. Whoa! Egg yolk time. Watch. This is where it gets icky, Anna. No more hands. We're going to mix this in with the flour and the baking soda. No hands. No hands. Yuck. Yucky. That's raw egg. Don't touch. No. No touchy. Anna. No. Huggy. We need a ½ cup of milk now. Stop pulling my pants down. Okay. ½ cup of milk. Don't touch. We gotta mix this all together. Oh, no more milk. All done with the milk. Oh, I'm forgetting the butter. We're going to put in 1 stick of butter or a ½ cup of margarine or shortening if you use shortening. Thank you. Now you can see it's a little thick. That's perfectly fine. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to add in our flavors once this butter is mixed. And I should probably switch to a wooden spoon now. Okay, so for our ingredients, we're going to add ½ teaspoon. Get off the table. ½ teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, ½ teaspoon. And then we're going to add half a teaspoon of almond. These are the liquid flavor extracts. In fact, when I was in the baking aisle, I found out that they are the most common two flavors to use. Okay. So half a teaspoon of vanilla, half a teaspoon of almond, and this will moisten it up just a little bit more. Now if you sift it, it'll be lighter, it'll be fluffier, it won't be so heavy. But I want a nice heavy cake for what I'm going to be doing. So I didn't sift the ingredients. This is going to be a nice, heavy, sturdy cake for me to carve and decorate. And now, before you mix all your ingredients, I forgot to mention, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that would be in Celsius. I apologize. My husband will probably, yell at me. But, no, he won't yell at me. He'll just tell me the math equation to do it. Uh-oh. Okay, so now that the ingredients are mixed, you want to grease your flour pan and keep your toddlers off the table. I typically use Crisco, but with this child being in the form she's in, I'm using non-stick spray, and I coat the inside of the pan, and I'm going to take a handful of flour, very small handful of flour, and I'm going to sprinkle it down, and I'm going to pat the flour all around to cover the pan. No. Fukaka. You want to have a nice thin coat like this of flour all the way around, up the sides, so that your cake comes out. And what you do now is you take your cake mix and you put it in your cake pan. Now it's a nice thick mix because it didn't come from a box. It's heavy and tight because I didn't sift it.
Here you go.
Thank you. And it smells amazing. Now, I originally started making cakes when my grandmother gave me her cookbook. And she got this cookbook from her mother on her wedding day. However, it was not a new cookbook. It was all beat to heck, and it was printed in 1924. So most of the cakes and pastries and breads that I make have their roots in this book. However, over decades, well, decade and a half, of baking on my own, I've learned how to switch them up to make them taste much better. Not that they were bad to begin with, they were good. Did you headbutt my elbow?
Sorry, Mommy.
Don't be sorry, accidents happen.
Sorry,
You wanna try it? This is good. take our cake and we put it in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes. And then we poke it with a skewer, and if nothing comes off on the skewer, it's good to go. Alright, get down. Mommy's got to put this in the oven. Ah! Now this is what it looks like when it's ready to go into the cake pan. It's thick, it's goopy, and it smells amazing. Okay, if you're throwing the entire mix from the recipe into one pan instead of splitting it into two, you want to bake it for 45 to 50 minutes before it's all done. However, once you take it out, you want to set the timer for 5 minutes. That's the amount of time you want to let it cool before you flip it onto the platter to take it out of the pan. I will show you when my timer goes off how to do that. Now that 5 minutes have passed, if you have a cooling rack, you want to dump it onto a cooling rack. However, I just have the cake case that I'm carrying this cake to Ember's party in. Don't have any cooling racks. All you do is flip it and take the pan off. Now, as you can see, every bit of the cake came out. That's the magic of the 5-minute mark once you pull it out of the oven.